Hey, kapow. My fellow people, y'all, hello. All the Liberian people, wherever you guys from. Welcome to the Monday Open Mic discussions here at Talk TV Media Network. Wherever you are, welcome to the show, y'all. Welcome. This is where it's politics. This is where we shine the light on political affairs on the entire Republic of Liberia. And today, of course, we will be shining a light on the events taking place today at the National Legislature, the Liberian Legislature. So that is our focal point today. All the elections today that took place in the House of Senate and that of Representatives, we'll be talking about that. But welcome to the show, wherever you're watching us from. I know it's some of you in Africa, it's warm. The weather is warm, but for us here in the United States, it's cold. Almost all across the country, it's cold. That's how it is. Very, very cold. Right now, as I speak to you, there's ice outside. Yeah. But it is what it is. Embrace it. Whatever environment you find yourself in, embrace it, enjoy it, and love it. So that's it. And of course, I have my colleague who will be joining me shortly. As soon as I see him in the back, I'll be bringing him on the show. But in the same vein, please do not hesitate to share the broadcast, to share the link. We'd love to hear from you as well. Not only should you just share, but participate. Be part of the broadcast. The government of Joseph Numa Boakai, the incoming, is just a few days from now. Today is January 15th, right? But next week, folks, next week. And when would that be? Let me see. Next week, Monday, a week from today, Liberia will be having a new president. First in its kind from Lofa County, out of 176 years, first of its kind. First president coming out of Lofa will be sworn in at 12 noon next week, Monday, January 22nd. Those of you who will not make it to the inauguration, wherever you are, it is important and very much imperative that you sit back, glued to different platforms, and enjoy history and watch history taking place. That is what you want to do. But that's for the Joseph Numa Boakai incoming administration. But there is a lot of work ahead of him, though, right? But before I even do that, before we get into the real work or whatever we have to discuss today, which has to do with the Liberian Senate has a new pro temp, the Liberian House of Representatives, has a new speaker and a deputy speaker as well. So many of you are already aware of those. These are the topics for discussion today. Let me bring my colleague on the screen with me before we jump right into this stuff. But while he is coming, you want to be able to enjoy this piece right here.
Hey, Liberia.
Yes, sir.
The corruption that is holding Liberia for tight, so that this country cannot go in front with development. Every day the country just going behind.
That's true, my daughter. Some government people can steal money faster than the way the monkey can steal banana, my sister. So the new government must stop the plenty stealing in government the way the 2014 law says. That law says before anybody can go to the Liberian Senate for interview for any government job, he or she must tell the Liberian people the money and the property he already has. That the one the book people can call
asset declaration. No asset declaration, no government job. And anything you show or declare will be put in the newspaper so that the Liberian people can know it according to our big law book.
Yes.
Or constitution.
Oh, yeah.
Even the money that the government can pay you, it must be put on radio and newspaper for all the people to know. But will the new government do it?
Well, my daughter, when a woman says that she fine in the name, they will break. So let's watch and see. Now, this new government must put her feet down on this plenty stealing in government by making sure that every 3 months, the people who can check on government money business, GAC, will check from the president office all the way down, according to the new law book of 2014, to see where the money will come from to build big houses and to buy expensive car for themselves, their wife, and sometimes for their girlfriend.
Yeah.
That's the one the quick people can call
lifestyle audits. Yes, sir. This is so necessary so that Liberia can become a better country and everybody will be happy again. Go, corruption, go. We don't want you in Liberia. Go. We don't want any corrupt person in government. The Liberian people are ready for all the big road to be out of government fear. Government that plays to work for the people, that not plays for TV, Jankoriko people.
Definitely, corruption must go. The characters were Ruth Davis and Thomas Manjo Bully. This drama was written by Thomas Manjo Bully and produced by Adrian Suarez as our contribution towards a better Liberia for the good of all and broadcast on this radio station you're listening to.
Okay, folks, there you have it. Beautiful piece right there by Thomas Manjo. We give thanks to all those who aired that piece, and also thanks to them for giving it to us and for us to be able to air it over here today. Those of you who are joining us online, welcome to the show. Happy Monday to all of you. Victor Howard, Lavetti Davis, special happy Monday to all of you. I hope everybody's staying warm somewhere or cold. You have two choices. You stay warm or you stay cold. But Sylvester, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
Yeah, thank you, Sam. I'm doing okay here, and also I just want to say hi to all of our audience, those in Liberia and those in the diaspora, as we discuss the issue that matter. You know, Liberia, every day there will be issue to discuss because we are just about to have a new leadership that will be installed to take the mantle of the country.
Right.
And then we also, like you may mention, we just saw the other branch of the government, the both houses elected their leaders. And so There are issues for us to discuss so that Liberian people will understand where we are and where do we stand. What is our future?
Awesome. Awesome. Of course, indeed, these are issues that are worth discussing, especially today. You know, there's no way we could just let this day pass without not discussing, having those discussions for our viewing audience and updating people on different things. But before we delve into the real issues, those of you who are just joining us, just to keep you up to speed with happenings today at the Liberian National Legislature. Today was the end of the 54th legislature. It ended today. Those who lost are gone home, and a new body was sworn in today. And we saw that, which is called the 55th National Legislature. And with that being said, we were able to witness the Senate pro tem unanimously on the white ballot elected their pro tem, and that is Yumli Kanga Lawrence, Senator Yumli Kanga Lawrence. And for those of you who do not know Yumli Kanga Lawrence, this is Yumli Kanga Lawrence from Grand Bassa County. She is the 55th Senate pro tem for the next 6 years. Is it the next 6 years or 1 year? 6 years. Yeah.
6 years.
So, and also when you going down, I'm just picking up the main heads. Then we'll go down, break down the other ones later. Going down to the lower house, which is the House of Representatives, then you will see not Richard Cohn. Richard Cohn was defeated by J. Funati Kofa, and this is J. Funati Kofa. That's Funati Kofa. He was able to get that position today. Of course, if you look at the numbers, how he came about, it's just five votes margin. And this, of course, reminds me of the just ended elections, very close. This tells me that the very house that he will be having, he has to have an open mind, or else he's going to have a lot of difficulty. And also, we were able to witness the deputy, which is Thomas Fowler, was able to beat Hassan Musability as well. So Thomas Fowler is the deputy for the next 6 years to Funati Kofa. Also, in the developments of issues, which we will touch after we discuss all these elections today, will be right after as soon Funati Kofa got elected. There was a lawsuit filed at the Temple of Justice by the United Party Secretary General and the chairman against the just elected Speaker of the House, Funati Kofa, meaning the court will have to hear his side of the story, because part of the process was the reason for the lawsuit was that he holds a dual citizenship position. And of course, last year that law was passed, as in any eminent, any major leader. There are major appointments in government that any leader who is vying for any of those positions need to rescind or resign part of the other citizenship. And there are reasons to that law, right? And so the Unity Party filed a lawsuit where they fight that Funati Kofa has a dual citizenship. He's a citizen of America and at the same time a citizen of Liberia. And as a result of that, he should not be having that position. He should not be heading that position, because that position is what? The third in line for the presidency. So it's a very high office, it's a very high position. So that's one aspect. So the court will be hearing that, and they cited him on the 25th of this month, when Joseph Numa Boakai is already sworn in. I just wanted to make sure that is noted. Fast forward, when you look at all the elections today, Sylvester, the new leadership with Yumli Kanga, Lawrence, President Pro Tem, in that entire body right there, Senator James P. Byney from Maryland, chairman of the executive, with all the overall positions that they have. Senator Abraham Dallas Dillon Monserrato is chairman of Foreign Affairs. Former Pro Tem Aboche is now chairman on Public Works. And Senator Councilor Augustine Che of Sino is chairman on Judiciary. Senator Prince K. Moi, Bond County, is chairman on Ways, Means, Finance, and Budget. Then we go to Senator Momoti Saros from Lofa. He's chairman on Defense, Security, and Veteran Affairs. And Senator Blow Bo Brown from Maryland, chairman on Rules, Order, and Administration. We also have Senator Nathaniel Fallo Magill of Magibi, chairman of the Committee on Education and Public Administration. Senator Daba M. Vapila, Grand Cape Mount, he's chairman on Health. Senator Prince Y. Johnson, Nimba County, is chairman on Internal Affairs. And Senator Amara Kone from Baplo is chairman on Public Account and Audit. And Senator Edwin M. Snow, Bummy, and Senator J. Alex Tyler of Bummy. They are ECOWAS representatives. Senator Prince Dopo, River G, Creighton Duncan, and Sino. They are representatives, RPU representatives. So, from all of this, your analysis, I know you've been following very closely too. What's your take from the events, from what came out today? What's your take? Let me give you the floor.
So, politics is diverse from country to country, depend on the culture of politics that exists in that country. But the good thing about you and myself is that we are seated in a country that we see the kind of politics, very high cold politics, fighting. When the president wins the elections, the next thing is hard to win the both houses. That is only because the president will want his or her agenda to pass in terms of development, because otherwise the two branches, if you lose them to the opposition, this is what happened. Yeah, a lot of people will look at it as a competition, but politically it's not just competition, because there where the opposition will want to promote their agenda by strangulating the president position on many things to make it unpopular with the people. So their opposition political party can gain ground for the next election. And so today we are experiencing a similar thing in Liberia. They going election was very, very toxic to the point where too many things were going in the wrong direction.
Right.
And Liberian people said that we wanted a change. And JMP came with a war rescue. Not only to rescue, but he did mention that some of the things he would do first would be to fight corruption, because they have been an old segment in Liberia. And guess what? If you threaten a system since 1847, we haven't thoroughly fought corruption. You mean you are fighting well-established corrupt system to fight that system? It's not easy, because corruption is still like to fight back. It's easy to fight back. So you will see that right after election, The CDC managed to win large number at the lower house, 20-some, and then they only fought for those independent that they sponsor during election. Guess what? Most of the guys were kind of sponsored by either Tifa giving some support because they had the money, they were using the money, no Liberians were questioning them. And the deputy speaker had sufficient, the president gave them money. So they managed to support some guy who won, and now it was easier for them to bring them together as a bloc. And they also gave them good support.
Mm-hmm.
I was not surprised that, in fact, Rachel Coons fought to even come to Tele 1 because the president called and told them her agenda. And people are not just looking at the agenda when they get in the position. They're talking about what you got to offer them because they look at this is the time for all to get money. You understand?
But the issue, let me hold you quickly. Let me interject, please. Well, the issue of Richard Combs, right? We watched him last week. He was overly confident that they were going to win this, that they had the numbers. And this was the game of numbers. Why do you have any idea as to why he lost?
Yeah, so I was just telling you, he had a confidence because of the last group of people that went over the old man consulted and they all agreed. And most of them deflected back to the camp because that number that day, they were around 37, 38. Mm-hmm. If that number would have voted, then of course they're going to win. Because they made that one to the one with 36. Huh? He won with 36. But the politics in the house over there, from my past experience, these guys, when they got elected, the new ones, they basically chose who gave them the more money. The more money you give them, the more they consent.
So you're saying money with what we saw occurring today or emanating out of the house, money was a factor.
Money was a factor. It was not kind of independent aligned. Nobody should tell you that it was just independent aligned or making money. Let's go back to 2005. Mm-hmm. When Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf won the election, Snow came as an independent. He was not part of CDC. But quickly got supported by CDC. And Snow was working to LPLC where, in fact, there was an audit on him from the UN that indicated that he managed to accumulate over 10 million. And that money was somewhere in Lebanon and somewhere in some bank. So he had money. So immediately he started grouping people. The first money he dished out was 5,000. I can remember. My cousins are buried all were part of it. So the how he built the camp. So the president at the time had not taken seat. So Ellen was not in the game of giving money, huge money at the time. So they won her. I can say. But in 3 months' time, what happened? Snow was replaced. Because over there, the executive, whether JMB want to fight or not, if this scheme that they want to play, that if they don't go there with the intention to do the Liberian people work, I'm not surprised that Kofa and his deputy will be kicked out quick because look, let me tell you something. There are individuals that will not want the president to suffer. Countries, they will sponsor the removal of speaker, deputy speaker. Because remember in that case during Ellen time, it was China who headed our committee to fight. It was a former speaker, Buffer Chimo. He was then, but then he was with the Unity Party. He had our committee. They raised money they were able to remove because money was there at the time. So Suno could not fight back. I'm not saying that will happen. But if the election of Councillor how they call it? Fanatic Kofa?
Yeah, Fanatic Kofa.
Fanatic Kofa will be with good intention to work with the Ome or work with the Liberian people to see that every bill puffer and that come, it will be put to the on the floor for discussion to make sure that Liberian people will be treated fairly. If he fail to do that, I can see him going fast because
today from his speech today, he spoke just right briefly after being sworn in that he did meet with the incoming president, Waka elect, and he talked to him about his agenda and what he wants to do to develop the country, especially the very area where Funati come from, which is the southeast, right? And other things are about dealing with corruption, and that he will need his support. From what all indications from what he talked about today, it seems like they have a lot in common. If there is not a lot in common, there will be a problem, even though, because this is my analysis now based on what I saw, what I'm perceiving. If the House, since the House is predominantly quote unquote CDC, because Thomas Fowler is strong sedition, and he's, from all indications, he's fought the Joseph Nima Boakai even in FOIA, and if they were going to play, they were actually going to lose as well. And so, knowing fully well what his undertone would be, ways of probably undermining the administration, do you think that they could stand a risk? Because this is the people's government, right? If the people elected Joseph Numa Boakai on a mandate, which is the arrest agenda to develop the country, do you think, if with all indications, if these guys have any other undertone or underground motive, that it will backfire? It will backfire because if Joseph Numa Boakai has an agenda that he has no interest or whatsoever, and he doesn't want to give brown envelopes, and it is the people's agenda, and someone wants to stand in the way of that, I mean, along the way, what you're talking about, the people might revolt, the people might protest against them. And I foresee, I kind of foresee, to some extent, a good balance for the Joseph Numa Boakai government, which will bring some sort of inclusivity, as in CDC is not totally left out, because they won a lot of seats in a gun election.
Yeah. So the part of the reason they won seat, the poverty created by Jowia regime reduced more Liberian to baking. You can't believe it that people, even in FOIA, when I was there, people who hail Thomas Fowler cannot even give you any strong justification on policy issue. But because Thomas Fowler used to go there and distribute some money, they printed 34 billion lastly, and that money was distributed among them. And today, some of them, you ask them, what did Thomas Fowler do? They will tell you, oh, that boy used to come here at least sometimes and give only 500 assistance. That's all. And that is not how we want a government to run. We want a government that will develop the system such that qualified, competent, vulnerable people will have opportunity to rise. It should not be a one-man show, but that's not the case with people like Thomas Fowler. I can say clear, I don't care. I will say Thomas Fowler, if you come to the speaker, I may have some little respect for him, that he might be some kind of policy-driven person, even though he didn't exhibit that during Jowia time.
Deputy Speaker.
Yeah, Deputy Speaker, yeah.
But Chambers was there.
Yeah, but he didn't speak. He could speak on the floor. That doesn't mean if you were Deputy Speaker, you could not speak on the floor on issues that matter. But they all were quiet. Everything went the way it went, wrongly. You understand? And they all signed all kind of document, because when you look on every document in that house, the role of the Deputy Speaker, you sign most of you sign all, you co-sign. So you are part of the process. But now that he's a speaker on a different regime.
He's saying Funati was part of the problem for in the outgoing.
Yeah, he was. And besides
and now he is coming at the forefront.
And besides that, another
so
thing.
Do you think not knowing the kind of leadership that's coming to play, that's about to assume the mantle of power in the country, do you think that he will step up to the plate where he can redeem himself, as in that having that independent mind where he's working not for party interest but for country's interest?
Well, this is where I come in and I say I will make too much I would call wrong comment on him or sweeping
Yeah, you
statement.
gotta give the man a slack. You gotta
Yeah,
give him the man time to.
I have to give him a chance.
Mm-hmm.
To see how he's gonna work because he has a professional, a qualification he has, and he has the maturity who could change because he could say, oh, but send the presidency in Africa, Liberia to be specific, has that's so much influence over the House, which is not supposed to be so by the Constitution. I think I work because I wanted to certify the president at the time, but this president is coming with different agenda. I think I'll work with him to make sure that we achieve his agenda and we achieve all of achieve. And I think Liberian people, they are quick to forgive people. You can do the wrong some time ago, but after you start doing something better, you can say, okay, you leave the man, you forgive him. But now we are thinking that the president is going to stay put a system together. That system of audit to checkmate people in the past and present, it will still affect some people. I don't know how many persons are going to affect me, but I'm sure it's going to affect a lot of people. And that doesn't mean you're going to be excluded. That's part of you making some changes now. But if you fall within the range where past activity, you did something wrongly financially, or you may use the rule of law, you will be penalized. Of course,
Sylvester, you know one aspect, the way I was looking at what happened at the legislature today. I was looking at it from the critical standpoint. It's okay. I think it's a good thing for our democracy, for Liberia. There is some sort of balance of power. As in, you can have all the legislature one-sided in favor of Unity Party, and then you have the House one-sided in favor of Unity Party. You have the government in favor of the Unity Party. That could spark up some sort of problem. Then where is the balance, right? But it will be helpful to the Unity Party when they assume power, knowing that the opposition party that came close to winning the election is they are the one running the House, which means they have to be involved as well, right? So they have the executive and they have the Senate with Yomble Kanga Lawrence election as well. I see some sort of balance, which is good for our democracy, because what that would do is it will force them to communicate. It will force them to talk to each other. It will force them to skillfully compromise in the best interest of the country, as in not anything that just comes to the floor should pass. That's all there is. If you're putting anything on the floor, it's going to come to the floor. But you should have a backing. You should defend it. That's what it looks like.
So, Sam, you're right. That's why when I started the show, I did say that we have two thoughts when it comes to what unfolded today. To see the deputy speaker coming from the opposition. People look at it from the other side that, hey, this is a check and balance. And other people will say, no, not just check and balance. Knowing the kind of people that took power, where they came from, and what they did in the past, when you also check them from that background, then you will say, oh, they fought to take over the position so that they can fight to make the leadership of Joseph Nyumabwake unpopular on many issues where sometimes there will be bill that will come, because for every kind of system you want to create, you have to pass through the lower house first before it goes up, most especially financial reforms. So if they look at them and say, no, we'll step on them. For instance, even the appointment of committee, just look at the committee that will be appointed. That way you get to know whether they are prepared to work. If you take all of the key positions that the West and Mean, which is a key committee, and gave it to the people who voted for you in the opposition, then you trying to renege on the what? On the accountability. Seriously, from my point of view, then that means there will be issues that will come in the financial reform. They will throw them in the committee room. It will never come from there, and you will not ask them to bring it, because once the committee had to take the document and carry it in. Don't bring it back on the floor for discussion. What are you going to do? So what does that mean to the leadership of JMB? They're going to impede the part of his function to fight corruption. But you see, I have an idea also that, African president, or left for JMB, who is so diplomatic, if you follow the politics in Rwanda, when Paul Kagame won,
right,
he had a challenge with the parliament. But 2 terms, unless now that he's working with the parliament, he refused to work with them because he thought everything he had to pass them because they were opposing him, even though he won the popular vote. You understand? So what he did, he implemented his policy slowly in the absence of, that's what they call check and balance. Check and balance means executive or propose or anything to do, they have to pass it through the hall will review it and certify it and make it pass it into law or working tools. Then that's what the check and balance. That means the person is not interrupting the legislative work. The legislature are not interrupting the executive work. And equally the judiciary, all of them, they're doing their work, but they're coordinating at the same time. That's why you talk about the check and balance. But check and balance does not mean about leadership within the house. No. We look at it as check and balance. But as people see it, we will be witnessing the game. But like I want to say, see the formation of the committee that, because under the lower house, unless the upper house, immediately he takes over, he's going to formulate his own committee. But it's different from the Senate. That's why you see the Senate immediately, they look at you by your qualification, they send you over there.
Right.
But the lower house, you may not be qualified as an accountant, they'll go make you the head of the Ways and Means. For instance, you saw CDC those days. Fala was the head of Ways and Means. What does Fala have to do with financial matter? You know what I'm saying? But because he was a diehard sedition and they wanted him to raise money for their campaign, and which he did, that's why they put him there. So there are a lot of implications when you see people fighting for the powers. And you understand, there are a lot of implications. Don't just look at it as the check and balance.
So let me still hold you to that. The lower house, the House of Legislature, right? When you look at the issue with Fonati Kofa, with what happened right after his election today, there was a lawsuit filed. And when you look at the U.S. law and that of the law, the new law that Fonati Kofa was a part of last year in passing, which is the dual citizenship law. I see my colleague trying to come in. Solo, I think I have to see you before I'm able to add you on the screen. Something is probably wrong. Are you there? Can you hear me? Solo?
You talking to me?
No, I'm talking to Solo. I see Solo at the bottom. He's trying to come in, but I have to be able to see him clear to be able to add him on the screen. But anyway, so Solo, figure it out, please, and give me thumbs up if you're hearing me. So part of my concern is this: when you have the dual citizenship and knowing the law that it passed, that in order for a Liberian citizen to hold power, to get into power, to hold a prominent position, you have to denounce your other citizenship, which is either you denounce the United States citizenship, right? You denounce that, then you can hold, you get into power, like a position that Fonati Kofa has found himself in. If that is so true, based on that law, which I think it is, then Fonati is in a big trouble. He's in a lot of water, meaning he cannot hold that position as Speaker of the House, while at the same time he is a United States citizen, because there is a conflict of interest. And many people argue it, and it makes sense. Meaning, if he is the Speaker of the House, at the same time, an American citizen, because when you are sworn in as an American citizen, you are sworn in to defend, protect the United States from all foreign forces. You pledge your loyalty to the government. of the United States. Then now he is also a citizen of Liberia. Bear in mind that as president of the Senate, the representative, the House, if there is a war between Liberia and the United States, which side will Fonati Kofa take? On whose side will he be? That is a conflict. And this is where the United States, the Liberian judiciary, judicial system will have to really clear, because this law is coming into serious practice. Mr. Fossa, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. Nice to be here.
So this is my argument with it, and then I would want you to come in on this whole Fonati. You kind of met us on this Fonati with the Unity Party lawsuit that came in by Amos Toye and the party chairman today, telling him to disclose his citizenship. When his citizenship is disclosed, and then the party will decide what the next procedure will be. And as well, the government will be able to rule.
Thank you,
so
sir.
Do you think that Fonati stand a danger of relinquishing his position as Speaker of the House? And if he does, who takes over? Is it his rival, Richard Kuhn, or are they going to do a whole host of re-election again? So let me bring you in, Fasa.
Thank you so much. Big Boss, hi, how are you? I know it's been a while. I just want to first and foremost go back, because I'm monitoring you guys. You raised the issue of balance of power, which I want to disagree with you on the points you raised. A balance of power under the Constitution of Liberia is very clear. It means the legislature should be able to enact laws. The executive enforce those laws, and the judiciary interpret the law. That's the balance of power. It doesn't mean that you have to have an opposition leading the legislature and another party leading the executive. That's my understanding of the balance of power. If the president meddle into the legislature where the laws are being enacted, that becomes a conflict of interest. Let's take a typical case from the United States of America. When Barack Obama was president, you had a speaker that came from the Democratic Party. It makes it very simple to propagate Barack Obama. You remember the Obamacare was passed under the Speaker of the Democratic Party. So that's in no way conflict the issue and talk about balance of power. If the legislature try to interpret the law, it means they are conflicting with the judiciary. So I think I would have supported a Unity Party speaker. More beyond, let's go to the point you just raised. I just want to state that clear.
Yeah, you stated that clear, but I'm glad you differ with me, but I'm gonna hold you right there, right? That's your way of looking at it. The balance of power, yes, the executive, what the executive is supposed to do, this one's supposed to enact the laws, interpret the laws, make the laws, execute the laws. We get it. But when it comes to the House, you realize that with all of what you just talked about, the system will now be balanced if you have a House that is predominantly or 100% Unity partisan. When you have a Senate that is predominantly 100%, you know it's going to cloud things. You know things will now go right, especially in our African politics. So from that perspective is where I'm coming from. Yes, you cannot say these guys they don't have their own opinion, but you know that they are being pushed away one way or the other, like what we saw today to the election. That money play a factor.
So sad.
In Thomas Fowler being elected, in Fonati Kofa being elected, a lot of money was at play. And there's a reason why these guys did this. So that not anything that comes to the floor will just be heard say, yes, sir, you're passing. Because we saw that for the past 6 years. Everything that came on the floor, if it was not in WEA's interest, it will not get on the floor and it will not pass. So that is why when you separate these parties, you involve them to commute, to talk together. The same thing happened here with the democratic process, Democrats and Republicans. because this one is in the majority, this one is in the minority. It forced them to sit at the same table to negotiate. Joe Biden is going through the same thing right now when it comes to to increasing the budget, the next budget, and the Republicans are saying we cannot go. You're not going to get what you want until you deal with the border issue, which is our concern, which is their concern. If they imagine now, if they didn't have that vote, Joe Biden would have overridden with the Senate and the House easily if those two houses were predominantly Democratic. So that's my position.
So Sam, this position which I disagree with.
I hear you talking. Solo. I think I don't know if you're talking, but you are muted. You muted yourself.
So this is. I just want to make this point. The speaker is somebody's elected among his own equals. So if we talk about,
you getting me?
Okay, we're getting you now.
Yeah, Sam. I was talking, but Fasai is already talking.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so it's just an election of a leader among equals. One to speak in every gathering, there should be someone who will preside, one who will be a leader. If we talk about independence, it means those people we elected at the legislature are not independent of their own, because every electoral district elected them to go to the legislature, meaning the fight should be on the floor. When there's an issue to be debated, people should stand their ground on the floor of the Liberian Legislature to debate this issue and make their points true.
But that's
not Sam. My point I'm saying, you talk about balance of power, which I'll continue to disagree. There's no balance of power. The speaker should not have an absolute. The only power the speaker has is to set up the agenda of the legislature. Meaning, if Joseph Barker sends something to him, he will choose to either pull it there or not to pull it there. That's his right as a speaker.
Let me interject. The speaker has. They are equals, but they're not equally equal. The equal has a very good, more power than those guys. Number one, if he didn't have that power, he would not be taking 2-something million more than his colleagues. Colleagues come nowhere close to him. The Speaker of the House is taking home yearly 2-something million.
No, but point, Sam, please wait. You know, why you should know, don't just focus on the monetary issue. That monetary issue, it depends from government to government. They are not being consistent. It's not constitutional that Speaker should always have to.
I just wanted to interject that, but I wanted to tell you as well. When it comes to laws and rules and agendas, why you put it on the floor? The Speaker is the one who's supposed to allow it.
So let's understand the argument. Let's understand the argument of balance of power. I think I remain on the same side of what my brother Fasa said. What the Constitution defines as a balance of power is what we are stating. We're not talking about how you see it. If you don't want to believe that, go make a research. Even in America here today, politics is just becoming toxic. But in the past, in the 80s, the both parties used to control the both houses and do better for America. But that doesn't mean if you put the issue on the floor to fight, the people say because of the Speaker, it had nothing to do with the Speaker. It had to do with the people that were seeing fit and the vote. That voting had nothing to do with Speaker. When the people vote on another issue, is that vote that the Speaker will make report on. He will not change that report. So the balance of power as stated in the Constitution in our law is where each branch does its own way according to how the Constitution gets the power without interruption of another branch. Okay? If the law is being made, you cannot make law, you implement it. Because that is going now in Liberia. The lawmakers are making law.
That.
Okay, the lawmakers are making the budget, the power is a law. But how can they put money in the budget? The lawmaker will take the money in their pocket and go and implement project. That is not their work. It should be done by the executive. Other than that, they will not conduct an oversight. Then they will fail their oversight. So these are things we should have to understand. But what happened today is the politics that, look, that we are seeing even in America, where the Republicans want to, if they don't win the presidency, they must just win one side to fight to make sure that their agenda will be put on the floor to show to the American people that they are better than the Democrat, so that the next election, they will overwhelmingly, they can strangle it. Some of the bill they're stopping, they're not stopping it in the interest of America, but they're stopping it to gain their position. You know that. We saw certain bill being stopped by the Republicans.
My question to you guys, is this: if you are basing on the balance of power, right? Why are you afraid of not having a house that is predominantly the opposition now, soon to be opposition, CDC? And you're also afraid if CDC would have taken hold of the Senate.
Okay, so
will you be afraid of that?
My fear is common. You and I witnessed what the CDC did in the past. And JMB is coming to say there will be a lot of reform. The reform can only take place if the speaker, for instance, do you know the power of the speaker to stop something very crucial to go on the floor? If he doesn't put on the floor, it will not be argued.
But I mentioned that earlier. And you guys feel like it's okay because of balance of power. That has no effect. That's why you're saying.
No, but I'm just telling you now, if the man come with playing like you saw what Speaker or Buffer did.
Right.
Many things used to come from the opposition. They never came on the floor because he didn't want them to be discussed. That is more harmful for a government that we want to see reform, because that man is saying he want to do reform. Reform particularly will be in the fight against corruption. And this guy, most of them are involved in a corrupt act. You think, are they going to make better decision or put on the floor or send it to the committee room with that document come from the committee room? This is our fear. Because I know the president-elect has a responsibility because he spoke on changes. He spoke on reform and he got voted for them. So I trust him more than the other people who have seen what they did in the past. You know, so that's not fear.
Okay.
Let me just interject. So, I just want to interject.
Yeah, why do you interject? When you finish your interjection, I need to move on a legal ramification when it comes to Fonati maintaining that position.
All right. So my interjection is clear. You and I live in the diaspora. Fonati is a convicted felon in the U.S. Do you look at the past leadership of the CDC government? You had a pro tem who could not even travel to America to lobby to bring anything back to the country. You had a speaker who was in the U.S. military here and he ran away. He was there for speaker for 6 years. He traveled to other Asian countries, never show up here. What do you think Fonati coming to the U.S. having a dialogue with a U.S. legislature? Who would they be looking at? They'll be looking at a convicted felon. You know what happened here. I agree. He got convicted. He went to jail. He served his term. But the fact of the matter, that trust is being eroded. The trust is no longer there. So I believe Fonati is not the right choice for this legislature. Moving to the legal aspect, I know the legal aspect will catch up with Fonati because what? They all sat there and craft this animal. They, under the 54 legislature, passed that law. You and I know that you used to come and discuss the dual citizenship. These guys decided that no diaspora Liberian should hold an elected position. They passed a law. Elected position means you cannot even hold a ministerial or deputy ministerial position. Reasons being that they don't want the guys come from the diaspora and have a money advantage to contest against them to unseat them. So I can tell you for sure, Fonati is a U.S. citizen. Given the fact that Fonati practiced in the U.S. as a lawyer, you know and I know there are certain jobs in the U.S. you will not have them until you are a U.S. citizen. That's clear and to the point. You cannot serve in those positions if you are not a U.S. citizen. You cannot have those opportunities.
I mean, he could be a permanent resident.
So going to the Supreme Court, from our experience, if Fonati is defeated in the Supreme Court, he lost his position as Speaker and he lost his position as Representative. So what happened at the legislature? They will have to go back to have a re-election for a new Speaker. Because I remember I was a staff at the legislature when Edwin Snow was booted out.
Yeah.
Yep. And I was there with Eugene Falakpaka at the time. They have to go to re-election to elect a new Speaker.
Yeah, so brought talent in. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, that's it.
That would be the procedure. There will be a election for a new Speaker. I'm not sure about a deputy, but a new Speaker will be elected.
So for on the legal issue, I may take a little contrary because you see our fundamental, the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia says that any law, and that's why I'm looking for the chapter to bring any law propagated that is not consistent with our laws is void. I can say the law the lawmaker made is a Booker's law. Trust me. It's because they made a law against that is not consistent with our Constitution. Because our Constitution gave reference that once you were born in Liberia, you are a citizen. So if you want to change, to bring a law of that nature, you have to go back and make sure that the country can vote against that clause and change it and create a room that you can make law that once you were born here, of course, but if you go to other country and take citizenship, you lose that citizenship back in Liberia. If you don't have any constitution, that would be very complicated. I can tell you on this show, the opinion of Supreme Court on issue like that, don't say because they wrote that law, they could go and scrap that law and say that law was written because so will not honor it and scrap it. They may hold it because Supreme Court is the last bus stop for interpreting law. But I'm just saying it here because I know the situation is very complex because our law is definite for you.
Yeah, but this is a law that Fonatikofa was a part of.
I agree.
They all crafted, right? And they all passed it.
Let me cite an example to you.
They passed
the club we used to run in Liberia. We ran club, financial club.
I get
if
it.
you wrote a constitution or law, you did not look at any portion of the constitution, it goes against it. Even if you sign it, you go to court, they will write it off. Opinion, they will run it off.
This law was passed. That's the part I want you to understand.
I agree. It's a statutory law, but it's not a fundamental law. It's a statutory law.
Passed into law.
Sir, there is a catch-22 in this law. You know what the law says? If you want to contest, denounce your U.S. citizenship.
Exactly.
I saw it 1 year prior. So the Constitution is not against the Constitution. You still have the right.
Yes.
But to get that right, you should deny your foreign citizenship 1 year prior and contest. Because you cannot be a dual citizen and contest. Look, I'm not in favor of the law. I hate it like hell.
No. So I kind of like that aspect of the law.
No, we arguing, we sharing idea. I think we arguing. But idea because at the end of the day,
part of it, I am in favor of that part.
We are not the one that are going to make we are not the one that are going to interpret.
The Supreme Court cannot strike it down because it says that if I want to contest in Foya District, I should denounce. If I was just setting a condition. If I was another citizen, denounce that citizenship 1 year prior, then come and contest. So if Fonati knew he was a U.S. citizen, he should have denounced it. They passed a law. The 54 is gone. This is 55th. You should have, while he are in the 54, he should have gone to the court, denounced his citizenship 1 year prior before going to contest. If he do not do it, the law will catch him. That's the law.
Will catch him. And that's what I think.
That's the law. It's
not why you and myself, we are on a platform giving our opinion in our layman understanding because the opinion of the Supreme Court will supersede everybody here. Right. But I'm also telling you that the connotation, the implication of our law, the fundamental, is saying no way that any law, the fact that it was not basically done right, it was not done at all. Anything that was not done good or not done, it will be scrapped. And as a result, it will not affect Fonati. It had to be a different thing. That's my position.
I know we'll come back here and have this conversation.
Oh, yeah, we will.
I'll know for sure.
I don't think it'll be scrapped.
Yeah, the cash over there is, I don't like the law, people. Let's be clear. I don't like it at all. But the cash there, if you want to contest, resign and come and contest.
No, but what is the intent?
Yeah, denounce your citizenship.
No, let's see enough as that. The court of Supreme Court look at the intent. What is the intent of the law? Is to deny you being your other citizenship you have to come back to Liberia. That's why it is.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why it is. And that's why our law is not giving room. That means you have to go back to our fundamental law and change that law before you can make that law. Trust me.
we're not lawyers. We can't dwell on this too much. So
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not a
because
lawyer, but that's what I
some-
understand.
It's because I follow some issue of that when we were running clubs. We wrote some law with the same conjunction, and when we went to court, we were there with. Seriously. We thought we deal it with good faith. So from that experience. But again, we are all sharing because the Supreme Court that he might be sitting over there. Sometimes Supreme Court make decision, we question the in fact, but meanwhile, they are the last people. Look, for instance, the other criminal case, death case, they just made a few days. We all crying around here. In fact, not Supreme Court, but the criminal court. That
So
made that
Sam, just to add up, I don't like the law because given the fact that right now, President-elect is looking for people in the diaspora who come and serve in his government, minister, deputy minister, and whatever. Most of them will be U.S. citizens. So it means they are not qualified. So it made a cripple the government. I don't like the law. I can tell you that for free. Because if you are a U.S. citizen...
So, what about the other aspect of the law where I mentioned earlier, right? Especially the area of the presidency or defense minister, right? And this person becomes that person, and this individual holds two citizenship to one country. What if that country and the country to which he or she holds that citizenship goes to war, and he or she is at the helm of authority?
That is the scenario. Everybody always point
that
out.
scenario as well. Where does he go? Where does that individual belong? That defense minister. On whose side is that defense minister? Because if he holds loyalty to two countries.
Okay, I ask you a question. Well, before you ask that question, if you John, I come and ask you.
No. Before you ask me, let me.
Okay, if I can answer it.
If
I can answer.
Funatikofa was president of Liberia today, let's say he is today president of Liberia, right? And then he is a citizen of America as well. And there is some sort of issues between Liberia and America that lead them, both of us, to war. He holds loyalty equally to America.
No, it can be equal. It can be equal. You hold loyalty to the country you serve in, where your security is. Let me give you. Let me give you.
Equal because when you are sworn in as a U.S. citizen, you took oath to defend.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The pledge you will be actively is where you're going to defend. Let me say this: there are people in the army in America here. They are not citizens.
That's not how they all look at it. At the place where
no. I'm saying that to you. There are people in the army here. They send them the war. They are not citizens. They come from China. They are Chinese. They are the Eastern in the army, and they go to fight. Let's say China. So you don't expect them to defend
the
America.
only person that you find in the army going to war, in the military, either a permanent resident, an American citizen, permanent resident, but not
a permanent resident is not citizen.
The U.S. government is not. The U.S. government is not going to take somebody out of that. It's not a citizen.
No, but permanent resident is not citizen, Samuel.
I understand, but you and I understand the benefits of a permanent resident.
No, what that benefit now? If you bring the kind
of permanent resident, you are allowed to work, you are allowed to be in the military. They have their benefits.
I agree, but you are going to fight war. You come from China and you're going to fight China, and you are a permanent citizen of America. So does that mean you're not fight for America? Or if not, then why should they send you to the front?
So the issue of citizenship in America, if you go to sworn in, they say you denounce allegiance to all other countries.
Sure.
That's what the U.S. said allegiance said. You deny if you had a title as a chief, all the titles are denounced. That's why some of the Nigerians don't become citizens because of their chief title and other things. You got to denounce everything. So if you are loyal to America, you're only loyal to America. Your loyalty cannot be shared between America and any other country. That's just important for American citizenship. So if you deny to swear to an American citizenship, it means wherever you serve, America comes first. I think let me just bring this case in point. I think when we became president, the first U.S. ambassador assigned to D.C. was a U.S. citizen. The American refusing because he could not serve as a Liberian ambassador to the U.S. because he was a U.S. citizen.
That's a very good case too.
Yeah, I think he was sent over to somewhere overseas.
Who was that?
I forgot his name, but the first guy they sent, the people refused his letter of credence because he was a U.S. citizen.
Because I was in the foreign minister, but then I don't understand who is that.
The one George we are saying, the first guy, I'll check that out.
Yeah, please check it out because I was there. It was Finlay was minister by that time.
But look at it.
Finlay was the minister.
Like even at that, you're a United States citizen, but then you are now representing Liberia in America. Too, you're a Liberian citizen and you're a United States citizen. Something isn't right.
His letter of credence was not accepted. I will check that out. So this point, look, I don't like the law, right?
There's a way around it, though.
Yeah, the way around this law is there are certain positions, president, vice president, maybe just some specific security positions. Yeah, yes. Specific security positions. You know, they could relinquish that. You know, they could be on the law, which I agree. You cannot be loyal to another country. You want to be a president. I agree with that. Vice president. There are certain. You could say pro tem. You could say what speaker. Those positions.
Then I bring the question.
No, that what I would suggest.
No, let me say before that law came, and before that law even came, you already had a constitution of Liberia, and you already had a constitution in America that gave oath to people when they became citizens here, and they took citizenship in America here. And they went into an elected position, the president and the presidency. Almost, if you check the American president, I don't know how many that you count today, maybe JMB and the late Samuel Doe and who that are not associated to be foreign, foreigner. Where was the law that people could not take? You don't need to make the law because it's open. That the person had gone and subscribed to different countries, and they knew they were American. Because the National Election Commission that qualified people, because people be attempting on the issue in the past, I remember, and the Election Commission notified and certificated the people to go into election. I remember certain people were challenged at NEC. One of them were even one of them, even the former election commission chairperson, Flamboyant, was an American who served as election chairperson in Liberia. Somebody challenged him, and the court kicked it out. So the other law is just a law that doesn't even supposed to exist. This is why I'm telling you that, look, going in front of the Supreme Court will kick that whole law out. Trust me, we'll come here. If it doesn't happen, CEO, ask me for a penalty, I will pay.
Okay.
No, I will be happy.
I'll give you that pay.
But Sylvester,
you'll pay. Believe me, you'll pay right here on the show.
Yeah, I will pay.
I'll be excited.
Because I've been following the politics in Liberia for a while now. Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Fasa.
I would be excited. We'll put the Supreme Court to work and let them interpret it all because it's a bogus law.
No, but it's good challenge. One good thing I can tell you, I really want to let the process they must challenge it. Because that law, I already know that it's a problem. It was not done properly. If you want to do that law, go back to the fundamental law, put it into the way we're having election, how to change that part of the law so that when you make the law, it will hold. But anything that you can't hold two laws because there are two laws you are holding there.
So the point here is
so gentlemen, that move let's move forward. We got a few minutes left, right? On the Senate side, what do you guys make up of Yumley's comment?
No, the Senate is a house of elders, and I want to commend them that they have proven that indeed they are the house of elders, and that they could go on the drawing table to see reasons to build consensus. In democracy, it's not just voting. Building consensus.
Consensus is better.
And they build a consensus and they set up their leadership such that everyone is happy and everyone is inclusive. I can tell you for free, what's going to happen at the lower house now will be a serious fight because the house is divided almost into half. And some people voted because of incentive.
It's half.
It's half. I know some people voted because they got incentive.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, incentive is finished. They will drift back. And those are.
Oh, you are there. You saw it.
Yeah. People voted because they got what they got. Maybe in a damn minute they got some inducement, and the 3 votes were flipped. because other people didn't have the endorsement of giving. But can those people remain committed to those people? That's the issue. You know, they will come back over man X, Y, and Z. It's politics in the house. But I think the Senate did the right thing. And even if you look at the setup of their Senate leadership, it made their standing committee, those like the executive, foreign affairs, the top committees are equally distributed among people with competence in those areas, people that hold people accountable in those areas. I think I will say kudos to the Senate. And I think we'll look forward to the 155th or the 55th Senate operation to make sure that they can do better. And not because President Barker is a president. If he sends something that is not in the interest of the Liberian people, let it put it out. If he sends somebody for nomination or he nominates someone who is not qualified, you should reject the president. Let's make sure that the right people get the right position and to serve our country. I can tell you for free. If this says that U.S. citizens cannot hold a minister of the minister position, they're not going to get. People they're going to get will be people just around here. How many people not prepared now to go and resign to come and hold just ministerial position or serve at the will of the president that I can be fired tomorrow? And if I was citizen, conditionally, and the president asked me to serve, I'll not deny my citizenship for that. Because I know I serve at the will of pleasure of the president, I can be fired the next day. The president must have disagree on something.
Whoa, you just made a very good statement.
Yeah,
That's a very good point you just made right there.
Let me just join my brother.
Yamli Kanga Lawrence, appointment.
Kudos to the Senate, the senators. I mean, not because Yomli won. She has been one of my favorite in recent time because of the patient.
Our politician can talk when everything going there.
But a man wanted to
not because she won. That coming.
But a man feeling one of the post saying in a woman Gary. A man feeling one of the post saying a woman Gary.
Yes, so Philip wanted to post Gary, but he saw the whip. But let me say this: I like patience in politics. I like people that bear patience. If you bear patience when your time can come, I always like to cite the JMB story. We were in the elementary. I just joined the junior high when the issue of JMB to be vice president in 1985. Okay, I was in the junior high, and he was fought by a police who were more politically inclined by them in Foya. He didn't go. But meanwhile, he came and served 12 years as vice president. He tried again for the presidency, the 14, he came back, and now he's president. This is why I love to talk about Yomli. Yomli, patient, and her experience she has gained over time, got her to be to where she is. And I'm sure the way she talked to her colleagues, I mean, she may not be that godly like people think, but she gave some respect to some of her colleagues, and I think that what people need, some respect. Even if you want leadership, you have to give respect to your colleagues. That being said, I'm not sure that she got elected to make sure that whatever put forward at the Senate should get passed without validation. Mm-hmm. Because I know there are strong people there who already have said that they will fight based on what JMB have promised them. JMB told the people that he's going to fight corruption. He's going to fight anything that's supposed to be wrong before you go into government. And one of them is what Maserado senator, he stated it and he's still saying it, that any candidate sent here from JMB will be properly processed. Not because you're coming from the alliance. And he's not the only one. There are other people that start giving the right or giving the support to Yomli. They come from the opposition. They will speak. They did it because the consensus helped them. They were able to solve that problem among themselves as head of the of the house. The way they did it very, very unique. And like Professor said, consensus building is better than even election. Because it means people have understood what they want to do. They have understood their term of reference, their responsibility across the board. So that's why they came together to say, okay, allow her to go. And one of the things that made me more happy is that for her as a first female, if not to be elected at that level. Because Liberia is moving forward in the kind of politics that I'm trying to see. I love to see women taking charge. Not all women, but many women, when they take responsibility, they like to pull results. You can't believe it. When we used to have those junior high school principal, Rosetta Harris, when you ever heard about a lady that used to be principal for Jida against subsequently she went to be terminal. She was one of the best principal ever in the public school because of what she did. I love to see women taking responsibility. So for me, I would just say a big thank to the Senate, and also I would say, Madam Pro Tem, all yours, but please work for the Liberian people. You're not going to work for JMB. Please work for the Liberian people so that your future will be better than what you have now. That's all I would say.
So, anything else?
Well, I think I spoke on the issue already. As the brother rightly said, she need to work for the Liberian people and not for JMB. If JMB send any law over there that will not benefit the Liberian people, let them throw it out. JMB has no excuse. JMB has to deliver. JMB been vice president for 12 years. JMB contested for this presidency for 2 times. He won the second time. JMB is at the age that he has nothing to benefit from.
Yeah,
he needs to set up the foundation and set up the right thing for the Liberian people. So there will be absolutely no excuse from Joseph Barker. He has to perform. And he has to be open to the citizen and tell the citizen what is happening. Don't be like George Weah, who stayed there for over 6 years and never had a tete-a-tete with the media. You need to keep informing the Liberian people. Even it started from this transitional team. They are now open. They need to tell us what is happening. And don't be quiet. Tell us this is what we're doing, this is what's happening, and this is where we are. They got to set up a media team that will inform the Liberian people on a daily basis as to what is happening on his agenda. If the legislature refuses to pass the agenda, tell the people, I give it to the legislature, they got it. Tell the Liberian people that this is what I want to do, this is the law I want to pass, and who I send it to the House of Representatives, they got the law. And let the Liberian people know. Nobody's scared of anybody in this place. Know where the problem is. Instead of going to start negotiating the wrong way and giving out money, which I know you don't have to give. So I don't think you're going to, if you spoke out that you're going to fight corruption, you cannot come up front and start bribing the people for anything. And I think it's a sad day today for the lower house to have elected Fanati Kofa. And they said Thomas Farah, the deputy speaker.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I can't even believe it. The most corrupt Thomas Farah.
Why would you say that? Why would you say that?
Where's the balance of power?
That he's corrupt.
The president from Foya, Thomas Farah from Foya. Why they elected Thomas Farah? Where's the balance of power? Balance of power.
Hello. Mr.
Where
Bassa.
is the balance of power? Because that's the argument you put on.
No.
Tell us the balance of power.
Is this. You just made mention that Thomas Farah is the most corrupt. Where is it corrupt? When if you are accusing someone, you have accused someone and he has never gone to court. Nobody has done whatsoever to him in whatever way, shape, or form. And you're gonna go sit down here, you're shaking your head. Thomas Farah is the most corrupt. Where is the corruptness coming from?
Where is the balance of power, my brother?
Go I'll refer you to the.
No, you advocated the balance of power. You should be able to defend it.
No, but you can't answer one. I can't ask you a question. You're asking me. You answer me with a question.
My brother,
that's not going to work.
Scene is very clear. Why would Thomas Farah be building universities as a lawmaker for government? Are they in government name? Thomas Farah's salary at the legislature is not above $10,000. Let's be pragmatic here.
Yeah.
We can do a lifestyle audit. Let's do a lifestyle audit. I know how much you make. And you can't tell me you're going to be investing into something that costs $20 million. I know your income. That become a lifestyle. Can you tell me how you have you gone to a casino and you won $20 million? Do we have a casino in Liberia?
May I say something now?
Do we have a casino in Liberia where Thomas won
May I say something?
$20 million? Go ahead.
The man came into power, elected. He's been in the house for I think over 12 years now, and then he's also run a business owner. He runs businesses.
What kind of business?
Not even one business. He runs.
What kind of business you're running before you became representative? I was in
the house. Doesn't have money to get what he got.
Stop arguing, defending that issue of business.
I'm not defending. He made a statement that has no proof.
Which I'm defending.
Let me tell you.
And I was holding him accountable to that.
Before Thomas became representative,
let's do a last time.
I was doing good. Everybody know. But let me say this. In the audit, we have something what they call star audit.
Lifestyle audit.
Lifestyle audit. Yeah. Lifestyle audit. Easily conducted. You don't have to do financial audit.
No.
What is your income? You may have a few hundred or a few thousand, but in shorter possible time, in 10 years, now you're talking about 10 million. What is it? People will see your life you live in. So, Sam, I can tell you that.
So part of the issue that I have is this: if we raise accusations, just like we're talking about Fanatic Kofa, right? At the end of the day, he has to go through the process of the law, the judicial system, with all the mounting accusations or whatsoever. The law that we are defending today says one is guilty until proven innocent. One is innocent until proven guilty. I don't even know what I'm trying to
say. Okay, then I ask you a question, Sam.
Let me ask you a question. No, I have to learn. You are never guilty until you are guilty.
Yeah, so let me ask you a question.
That is the law.
Okay, that's the law, but this is the case now. How you think the bigger country like America, the West, how do they come about declaring countries as the most corrupt country in the world? Do they conduct audit before, or do they carry them to court before they say that?
Audit investigations are done when it comes to audit. Number one, they do
that. I'm talking about how do the country, Western country, come when you go to the corruption index? You see country rank for high corruption. You see Liberia there about 134.
No, actually, do you think when they do all this ranking, do you think they just sweepingly do that without not doing their homework?
No, that's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you. They now want to court. They now want auditor, but they got certain.
They have organizations that do all of that. Listen now. And you ask me a question. When it comes to the audit of governments or individuals, they have organizations solely responsible for that.
Yeah, I agree.
While the government is running, those organizations are employing all their tools. They are following the trail of money, evidences, and all of that stuff. And that's how they come with those conclusions.
No.
So if you sit here and say, Kamafara is a role.
No, let me tell you now. No, okay, this is what I'm telling you. So if you are not following...
Fanatic Kofa is a role.
Sam, if you are not following the law, the standard, the conventional, in managing the fundings, and also your financial growth is above your income, which nobody needs to go conduct audit. Definitely, you are corrupt. You fail to do your responsibility as a lawmaker.
Then you are misinterpreting the law because
no, that's not misinterpretation.
Guilty. No one is found guilty until proven guilty. And that is why anywhere when the police go to arrest you, they say you have the right to speak or not to speak until you go before a judge, until you face the law. When you are guilty, then comes the punishment. That is all. I'm following the law. That's the law.
Look, you only talk about that law when you're prosecuting someone to kill them to jail, but to label them corrupt. No, to label them corrupt.
John Moore can do all he wants to do. At the end of the day, if he doesn't have the proof to deliver, to prove that these guys are corrupt and prove it, these guys will never be prosecuted.
Is that what? What are you saying?
If John Molu can go to work and he does not have all the proof and all the accusations of what these guys' dealings are,
Sam, easy.
What?
Easy to find proof.
No. But you asked me. Let me. I'm laying back. If John Malu goes to work and does not have the proof, and did not gather all this information and everything, and present it to the law in a court of competent jurisdiction, or for the government to be able to execute what they're supposed to execute, you can never hold those guys responsible.
So now, Sam, let me tell you how people see that government is corrupt, individuals are corrupt. You look at the uses of the budget. Go and see the budget. So in the budget, look at the legislature, what belongs to them and what belongs to the citizens. So this is how the international community collect our data to label the country and the people in there as corrupt. And they look at the procurement. Who is responsible to procure most of the contract? Father is not responsible to procure any contract. In fact, under the Liberian law, we have what they call conflict of interest. That alone is a crime by itself. Besides, the more companies that are registered to procure contract for road paving Liberia, you will see for the company there. You will see no, yes, too. That is proven.
So I got your point. So let me bring you into this because our time is almost over, right? The same Thomas Fala you're talking about. There were two contenders today for that deputy speaker position. Thomas Fala and Ability. Those two. And Thomas Fala overwhelmingly beat Ability. Right? Those two. What is your take? Do you think it would have been okay for Musa Ability to be elected versus Thomas Fala?
Those two are not my best choice for deputy speaker.
I like that.
Yeah. I would not vote for any of them. It will not be my choice for deputy speaker because I strongly believe the legislature lower house got people of competence more than those two that would have been a deputy speaker. I know a lot of people who are going to the lower house who are on top of things, but they are afraid to shoot out there to lobby for this position because it was all monetized.
They were not afraid. There was a lady, one of the representatives, I think, I don't know, Marma Reeves or some kind of Reeves, something
from Bon County, yeah.
Or whatever. At the end of when they had a 20-minute session today, they told her to step down. It almost became like a boys' club. They forced her, and right immediately she was forced. She declined to vote. She had a press conference. What they did to her. That's why her name was not called on the floor.
So let me make my comment, even though I agree with my brother Fasad, that if I were part of that process, I will not vote for either of them because I know the two. I hate the issue of corruption. So when you say how you gotta know that the people are corrupt, you don't need. We can do. In fact, before we order, let me tell you, before we order an area, we just go and rush and order. We do an assessment and see where the risks are. We can see the risks in the leadership. Power leadership, those who have just gone to power like Fanatikofa and that of Farah. Fanatikofa, for instance, as a certain deputy speaker at the time, he was also a consultant for the major trade companies in Liberia. That is a crime by itself. Why will you be working as a senior person in the government and then you serve as a legal consultant to the company? Hey, friend. It's a legal consultant. We should know that it's a conflict of interest. You don't do that. Besides that, the reason you do that is so that you make them not to pay revenue directly or regularly to government, and so that you can benefit more. Now you come to Fala, we see the procurement. Most of the procurement that Fala company was involved in. Why were the essence giving procurement to Fala company? Why? That is criminal in nature. It's corrupt. But if you want to convert him to court, there where the criminal issue comes, you try him through criminal court. So in order to do so, you have to conduct an audit and get all of the evidence, and the evidence should be very qualified and potential to be admitted in the court or competent jurisdiction. There were the criminal, but they call him corrupt. It's easy for you to call a government official corrupt when they are not doing what they're supposed to do. Then the question is, what do they do with the resources that belong to the people? The people are not benefiting, but only you see you growing. You can stay and spend millions of dollars. Where do you get the money from? Nowhere. It's from the government. So that's why you call them. Now the two people, either of them I could not. Because when I was assigned, let me tell you a short story. When I was assigned to LPLC, 2009, September, when they removed Harry Grieve. First, if you can remember, Harry Grieve was removed by Ellen. John Malu commissioned an audit among the 13 auditors that I want to do, and I will immediately deploy in the account section where they have the account payable, they have the account receivable, and the account to reconcile. I was seated there so that any transaction of the TD accountants, I have to review their transaction and signature before it go to the controller for payment. While I was there, a transaction came and that transaction was run under MOTC, 1.3 million. I took that transaction and I reviewed it. I went for evidence. I got to know that that transaction shouldn't have been there. And how we were making reports, some of my colleagues took me from there. I'm just saying this to you that look, while we're conducting that audit also, some of my colleagues decided, they kissed that just like Chogo, one body called Fokpa Kamara, they decided to try to review the revenue audit to see the company that brought in fuel. Musa Berete company, how they call it? There's a company that he brought to Liberia. Streamer Farm. They have left me. They have sold their petroleum from the storage. The one they left and sold, they have what they call withholding taxes from the government. They should have remitted that payment. 3.some million. They did not pay to the Liberian government. We made a communication to Madam Tama, who was then the revenue commissioner. That please, because that audit was not within our scope, please tell your tax auditor to review. But that's what we saw shortly. That guy came and insulted us, but we are all evident that he doesn't pay. He always live on government. I don't trust that guy. That guy know how to manipulate. Or recently,
do you guys think that with the election of Thomas Fowler as deputy speaker, that it is in the best interest of FOIA for him to work along cohesively with the incoming president, Joseph Numa Baka?
Look, let me make this comment. Those guys' election is not in the good interest of this government. Those guys got there with an intent to suffocate this government.
To strangulate the government.
To strangulate the government. Their intent is they will be there, whatever he sent, they will be there to oppose it.
Yeah, but okay. When you do that, you are
I'm making a projection. Let me just make a point. Those guys' only intent is to get there. Whatever he sends here, we're going to fight it. Or if we can't fight it, we'll ask that you give us this before we give you this. That's all going to happen. That's what I'm saying to the United Party government. They will be open as much as possible, have a media arm that propagate their messages. This is what we're sending, or this is what we have sent. And since we sent it, we're still waiting on the lower house to pass this. They have to be open with the Liberian people. But I can tell you for free that those guys that are their speaker and deputy speaker spend a lot of money to get them to where they are. So they feel they're going to use the same budget to get their money back. That will be their fight. That will be their cause. Because I can tell you, most representatives who goes to the house take credit to go there. And when they get there, they want to get money to pay those loans they got. Those guys don't have no good intent for the Liberian people. I would say it. Because I have saw what they have done for the past 6 years. If they have good intent for the Liberian people, they had the authority within 6 years. What did they do, Sam? It didn't do anything. Why do you think they're going to do this time around? It will be like, hey, we got to strangulate the United Party to bring CDC back to power. That's how they fight to be speaker and deputy speaker. We got to do everything we can to make sure that United Party do not succeed. And once United Party do not succeed, then CDC can have a voice to come back to power. But what the United Party need to do is play by the books, always open up and tell the Liberian people what is happening. We submitted this to the legislature from the lower house to be passed for the interest of Liberian people, but they are holding it. So we got to keep talking and tell the people exactly what they are doing. If they got there to benefit themselves, I don't think they're going to get what they want.
Thank you very much. What's your last word, Sylvester, as well?
So I say kudos again to the senators and our newly pro tem, Madam Yomley, and I hope, like I said in my statement, that she's going to work for the Liberian pool because she has promised. We want to see her working for the Liberian pool so that we can hold to her words. In America, I have some reservation with the lower house. It doesn't mean that they cannot surprise me. And the surprising part is how they're going to work with GMB reform plan to make sure that Liberia doesn't remain the same. The old thing, let back on be back on. I hate that word. Liberia need to be clean for corruption. We have to fight corruption together. I don't care who will be caught in the net. I have no special person. Even if I were in government and I am caught, I should be penalized. We need a system that our generation, those youth, the people that will follow us, when they come, they will continue to benefit the country and the people. So, and I hope that the both houses, they will work for the Liberian people. That is my take in the whole process.
Folks, there you have it. Welcome. Thank you very, very much for following today's Monday's edition of Open Mic Discussion, especially with all the happenings in Liberia. Thank you. Those of you, before I take leave of you, those of you who are celebrating your birthdays today, special birthday, especially to you, Princess Solo. You celebrate your birthday today. I don't know how old are you, but happy birthday to you and many other folks out there who are celebrating. Also, those of you who are celebrating your anniversaries, happy anniversary to all of you. We look forward to seeing you in our next broadcast tomorrow, hopefully. But bear in mind, we have the business talk this week as well as the entertainment as well this week. We're trying to get the health practitioners on board as well, so they will be able to join us here as well. So until then, we look forward to seeing you. Thank you, comrades, colleagues. Appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys again another time. So I want to talk to you quick. Just right after the show.